Hello and welcome to Act Real Studio. Today we have one of our phenomenal instructors that I am very honored and excited to be working with and to bring you something exclusive that only Act Real Studio has with the incredibly accomplished, super phenomenal, and super hot Katti Power.
That was an awesome introduction.
You look so hot today.
Well, thank you.
Just like when I met you in Vegas. Remember I picked you up at a bar?
Yes, I totally remember.
You want to tell you how we met? At, in Vegas. Make it salacious.
I know, it was amazing. You came up, you sneaked up behind my back, and you gave me this giant hug, and I had no idea who you were.
COVID?
And I think your mouth was wide open, and you were like, ah! And you gave me a hug, and I was like, what? Who is this person?
Because I just, your energy lights up the room.
Same with you. We had an instant connection. It was like, it took us about 3 milliseconds to fall in love.
That was it. And I was like, wow, this is moving so fast. But by the time we were done, we had made a date. We had a contract. We made a commitment to each other to build each other's success and help each other build our brands.
And here we are.
Women of action.
That's right. That's right.
You got action minded. When you meet somebody like a Katti Power and they say they're interested in anything you want to do, you say yes. Okay. So,
well, I would say the exact same thing about you. You are quite a powerhouse, and I'm thrilled to be a part of what you're doing.
So, as you know, what we're rolling out is our brand new Actual Studio Institute.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible coaches and mastermind classes, and a very much 360 approach to the entertainment and creative arts community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's everyone. This is Actual Studio is about the business of entertainment.
Yes.
And the business of entertainment requires us that we don't know it all. And there's so many pieces and steps. So I found that most people just need a little direction, a little nudge this way or that way. Or, that's why I'm so incredibly ready for this opportunity to work with you and other like-minded individuals who are super talented and successful and know the ins and outs of Hollywood and how it works, which is why we started the Ways of LA. And teaching you, if you're new to the industry and you want to get into Hollywood, or maybe you're thinking about what should I do next, or maybe you have an agent and don't know how that really works, or when should I join SAG, just all the things that we know. But more than that, like, how do I find a job? What happens if I wake up and I'm hoarse the next day and I'm supposed to be on set, what happens if I don't have a Coogan account, and I'm supposed to be there tomorrow, who do I call? What if I've got, you name it.
Yeah. And realistically, there's a whole lot. There are a lot of performers out there asking these kinds of questions that don't have anywhere to go for the answers. So I'm really glad we're doing this.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you and I are doing as one of the course offering sections, or what do you want to call it? What do you want to call it? I want to be cool, not cool for cool sake. Pretend. It's something else, but I just don't want anybody to think that they're going to get the same old when they come to us.
Definitely.
So I would call it, that's why I called it the Actual Studio.
Yeah.
You work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm all about that. I love, I work with singers and actors primarily. And a lot of times people think that it's just play and fun. And it is playful. It is fun. But it's work. It's work. And, it's to do it as a career. It's actual work.
Can you give us a little background on
Yeah.
you and how you got started? You know, we
Mm.
always know that story. And then give me that, like, and don't be shy, because I need them to understand why they need to be working with you and how
Yeah.
great you are, and that you do have the acumen and the background,
Hmm.
patient, and the chops to do the job. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I started out as a professional actor and singer. I went to an acting conservatory in New York City a long time ago. And I worked in theater. So I'm more on the stage side of things. I worked in theater for years and years. I did a lot of musicals, a lot of straight plays, a lot of reviews. Um, and I became a voice and performance coach back in about 2000. And what happened was I was working on a cruise ship as a lead singer in a show, um, and I lost my voice.
mm.
And it was in Tahiti. So I was on the other side of the world.
Oh, I should. I guess I'm supposed to feel sorry for you that you were there, on a cruise ship and lost your voice. Okay,
Oh
I
no.
get
Yeah. But it was devastating because I wanted to stay. I wanted to finish out my contract and they wanted me to stay and finish out my contract, but I knew that staying and pushing through with this damaged voice would be a bad idea. So I went home to heal, which meant that I had to buy myself out of my contract, which was not cheap. And I had to pay for my replacement to come out to Tahiti, which is also not cheap. And then I went home and I spent almost a year on vocal rest. And while I was on vocal rest, I decided to figure out to do a whole bunch of research and figure out why this happened to me and how to make sure it never happened again. And I found a solution. What I didn't know at the time was that what I figured out was not common knowledge.
it.
And so now, 22 years later, I have a patent and trademark pending vocal method for how to permanently prevent voice loss and vocal fatigue. And that is a lot of the work that I do with singers and actors. But in addition to that, when I was in school, one of the things that frustrated me so much was that we had one teacher that taught us acting technique and singing technique. And then we had another teacher that taught us things like song interpretation and, movement and things like that. And we had to somehow pull the best of both and figure out on our own what we were going to pick and choose and use. And so when I became a vocal coach, which happened because a very persistent teenager saw me performing in a band and said, I want you to teach me how to sing. And I was like, I don't do that. And she wore me down. And I've been doing it ever since. So, but
Walking your power, Katie.
right, I know. Well, I will tell you, when I taught her that first lesson, I stressed about what am I going to teach her? How am I going to do this? And I went over to her house because I didn't even have a piano where I was staying at the time. And when I finished our little lesson, I went back to my car. I was sitting in her driveway and I just sobbed. And I was like, I can't believe I've spent my life pursuing performance, not knowing that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I've had millions of opportunities to perform ever since. Sometimes I take them. Most of the time, I just would rather do this. I found myself
Moment, right, for
yeah.
you.
Oh my God, it was huge. It was huge. But what I was saying before is that one of the things that frustrated me was that having those two different voices telling you how to perform, one scene or one moment, and you still had to figure out on your own what you were going to do from it. So I made the decision when I became a coach that I was going to do both because I have an acting background and I have a vocal background. So I teach the technique of things, whether it's your speaking voice, whether it's your singing voice. I teach you the technique that you need to be strong and powerful and healthy, and whatever it is you want your voice to do. I teach you that side, but I also teach you the acting side, because they have to go together. You do just one. You have to do them together. So everything that I've been doing for the past 2+ decades has been helping performers be connected in their technique and their performance, and so that they have powerful, authentic presentations. I have had 2 world champion singers in the competitive world.
What, there's a world champion competitive singing besides,
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
competition shows or something
yeah,
else?
yeah. There's a whole bunch of them. I was pretty involved with 3 of them. I was pretty involved with, but there are more than that.
Can you give us a little bit of insight on that?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you'll be able to speak to, actually, like I have judged many competitions, and you're like, oh, this is what that made them stand out. So
Yeah.
I just have to bring up, Katie, that they get like a triple threat. You get both techniques and you get the insight of what we're about to share right now. So I'm just starting to keep notes of all the different reasons why,
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And yeah, so in addition to prepping singers to be in these singing competitions, I also, like you said, I was a judge. And so some of them I was, working on the, one side of the table, and then some of them I was working on the other side of the table judging performers. So I definitely know both sides of that spectrum. Yeah, there are several different competitions worldwide, and they will have local competitions that will stretch out to, in our country, it'll be a state competition or a regional competition that'll move on to a national competition. Other countries have their versions of that. There's provincials in Canada, and I have no idea how it's handled in smaller countries, across the other oceans. But then once everyone has their national, they pick 1 or 2 winners, or whatever it is, and then they send them to the world competition. And it's phenomenal. It's the most fun. I got to go with my second world champion. I got to go with her. We went to Sweden. So she won a world competition in Sweden, and my other client won one in Finland. But they were 2 different competitions, and yeah, it was super fun. And they work really hard. So there's a whole lot of strategy that goes into it, a whole lot of mindset. I do a whole lot of mindset coaching with these people, because you can't just be like, well, I'm going to go enter a singing competition and hope I win. That's not enough.
Yeah, that's true. Because that's when they come to me after they've left you and all that prep work, then they walk into my room, right?
Absolutely.
They've worked with you for 12 months and
Hmm.
with like 600 songs, but they walked in there and their mind wasn't in the game, or they took a
Yeah,
back call that they shouldn't have taken and got into a fight with their
absolutely.
owner, broke a nail. So, oh my gosh, there's my acrylic.
Did that really just happen to you just now?
No,
Oh,
my
that's why I thought you were like, wow.
Hey, it would be that epic if you're about to
Right?
walk in and you're a hand model and there went your, you know,
Right?
what I mean? It's all the mindset though. See, I just went to
Yes.
what I felt like if I was a hand model and I needed my hand,
Yes.
first thing that can happen. So what do you do? What do you do, Katie?
You make it work. You make it work, and you get yourself in the right headspace. So you remind yourself of I always talk about your why, because your why is what drives you. Your why being the reason that you're doing it. What is your big goal? Whatever your big goal is, this is, I'm very passionate about this. I work with people that have goals. If you don't have a goal, I'm not ready. You're not ready for me,
Yeah,
because I'm in the business of helping people achieve goals. That's what I do. And so if
I,
you don't have one, then we're
I'm,
just wandering in the dark with nowhere to go.
yeah, I'm in the business of helping people achieve goals.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's, and actually accomplishing those things and being on the same page, it requires them to write it down, which is what I love about the special thing that you made for us at Actro Studio. What does
Yes.
a person who comes through that works with us and works with you get to do?
Yes, so I have a special academy that is just for the people of Act Real Studio. It's called No Limits Academy because I'm all about showing you how to do everything with your voice, with your acting, with your mindset, with your style, with who you are, all of those things without any limitation. Knowing who you are and how you want to show up in the world requires a no limits approach. And so that's what No Limits Academy is about. Um, it's like a membership kind of thing, and we have classes every single month. So there's a class that will teach you a lesson on, it could be on some kind of vocal technique, it could be on acting technique, it could be on creating your own style, it could be figuring out who you are and how to show up in the world so you can be influential. It could be about vocal health. There are so many, it could be about strategy and mindset. So we have
And
a whole curriculum of classes for throughout the year, and you can take whichever ones you want. And then at the end of the month, we do a masterclass where you come with whatever it is you're working on, and every person who comes gets individual one-on-one time with me in the group, in front of the group, and for coaching and feedback. So it's a place to learn and a place to polish.
that is why you're part of our da 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 da, a brand of influence.
Yes, absolutely.
Whole block. I mean, Acto Studio has so many incredible instructors, coaches, mentors, therapists involved with us. So
Yes.
every part of your journey to where you want to be, whether it be in front of the camera, behind the camera, but even just your own business, right? Because you are
Absolutely.
your own business and
Yes.
want to present the best way possible. And there are times knowing what your audience is after, speaking to them, but having a really good community of people that we're just not going to be like, okay, thanks. Thanks for coming. We'll see you later. That's what I
Yeah.
like you already, and that's why I'm partnering with people like yourself who have really great tools that they've been doing for years and years
Yes.
years. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just say, hey,
That's what I got.
can you join us? It's like
Yeah.
right, we're a collective of creatives, so I get to work with you, you get to work with me, and Acro Studio Lounge, well, you'll be having your own weekly pop in or monthly pop in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll
And and I will tell you that, one of the most important things about all of that we just said, the very first step, and you and I talked about this in Vegas when we had our intimate little moment.
I love that we had an intimate moment
I
in a
know.
bar in Vegas. And then the truck driver that we started with, hey, I wrote Tony.
Yes,
Tony,
Tony.
Tony. We'll have to do a reminiscence of my Tony next.
Absolutely.
And what was the song we were supposed to sing? Oh my gosh. What was it? Didn't you write it down? The lyrics? No, it was somebody else. There was a song by the Ramones or somebody. No, it wasn't the Ramones. He's gonna kill me. I bet
You're gonna have
alone.
to ask somebody else. I don't know that I remember that. But
I think
what I was gonna say is what we talked about.
over here,
Oh.
shots.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Always our story.
Yes.
Get to it.
Yeah. Yep. That's the Vegas way.
Oh, but like you said, what you're offering, they'll be able to go and buy in and pick, customize. Even when we do our big event in the summer, the Ways of LA conference, where we'll have, all the different people, the agents, managers, photographers, fashion stylists. But Act Real is really where we all want to come because that's all part of the community,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
If I'm on set I need my cinematographer. I need my wardrobe person. I need to say hi to Crafty because they always get me my vegan treats, my no salt,
Yes.
whatever being difficult. But when you do it out of love, they feel it.
Absolutely.
And you do everything from a place of love and compassion and focus. And you, with your story, that people will learn more about you as this goes on. You've overcome so much to be where you are. And I'm honored to be a part of this. And didn't you just go like have some crazy stuff happen to you recently? Like you went viral or something? I don't even know.
I
I heard
did, yeah.
I heard you're on TikTok.
I am on TikTok. I've got all kinds of crazy stuff on TikTok. And yes, there were some viral videos on TikTok for sure.
What do you think about? Because I know that with my with Acro Studio, we have build a brand of influence that we're gonna, target specific things, and this is for adults and children, which is so great, right? Or
Hmm.
needs to build a brand because you're talking about sponsorship at that time. Maybe you might be talking about you might want your own podcast like us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or you may just be talking about, I just want to get on a showcase. How do I get more listens on Spotify?
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's what we will be giving you at the Ways of LA conference. And when you talk about, and I talk about social currency, with your social currency, meaning, all the viewers, the community that you've built into, because I think if it's real, it's real. And if it's not, you know,
Hmm.
I don't need no numbers. I don't even want people to come if they don't want to be here. I just want people who want to roll with us, who are
Yeah.
authentic and fun and really we want to get in. If you really are authentic and you really want to get it in, like you want to work with like-minded people, we work with people who matter. Actual Studio works with people who matter because if you are successful in the career that you're after and we're supportive of that, you're going to matter in the world, right?
Hmm.
You're going to matter. Your art's going to matter. Your writings are going to matter. All those.
And I think the other piece of that, especially along the lines of building a brand of influence, is, in order for anything that you do to matter, you have to be so clear about who you are. And that's what we're talking about with building a brand of influence. And that's the core number one principle behind everything that I do with any client, whether they're a private client, whether they're in one of my group programs. The very first thing that we do is we figure out who they are. And the reason is, I would just love to talk about this because the reason you need to know who you are is because regardless of what you've heard out there, you are in charge of how you are seen.
Oh, amen. Say it again.
Oh my God, yes, you are in charge of how you are seen. So many actors are told that they have to go in and be a blank canvas. But there is no strategy behind that except how to get to the bottom of the headshot pile.
Yeah.
Because if you go in without knowing who you are, what you're doing is you're allowing the casting directors to decide for you. And
Yeah.
they're not going to decide what you want. They're going to just put you somewhere. And a lot of times where they're going to put you is the bottom of the pile because those casting directors at all levels, whether you're talking about your high school show or a film and TV audition or a Broadway call, they only have so much time. They're seeing people back to back to back to back to back to back. You have a short amount of time to make an influence. And the more you know about who you are and what that goal is that you have to achieve, you have the ability to show up a certain way. And that is, I am so passionate about this topic. So when you talked about building a brand of influence, I was like, yes, because I'm so behind this.
You know
This is
what?
so what I do.
I got another course I'm going to want you to teach. I do it. You're going to do it with me. We'll do
Mm-hmm.
this one together. I've done it several times and it gets a really great response. And it's called People Who Pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Casting director, people are always asking me, so what are you looking for? What do I do when I go on my audition? Or, I can't decide which way to go with this copy. What should I do? And you kind of want to, and then you walk in the room and there's like 5 people who look just like you know, cute blondes, 5 foot nothing, you know, or sexy black women who are very
Yes,
beautiful.
ma'am.
Why does it always have to go there? I'm so sorry. I'm such a girl.
You no need to apologize to me. Well,
No,
you own that.
we will own that. But when
Yes,
you walk
ma'am.
in, and it, like we said before, you know, just being able to have the presence of mind to know that you matter, that whatever you do is awesome, and that you're gonna kill it because you did it. You won.
Hmm.
You walked out of there with a win, and you go
Absolutely.
to live to fight another day about 3 hours from there because you have another audition, don't you?
Absolutely. Yes, you do.
Right.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Next.
All right. I'm so excited. I think so tell us what you are excited about working with Actro Studio. Do a plug for the new our new venture together.
I'm so excited to be part of Act Real Studio. I love what it stands for. I love the idea of bringing young people back into my world. I've been working with adults for a long time, and I love the idea of helping young people do this because sometimes the traditional paths to get where you want to be as a performer, if you know when you're a kid, if you're like me, I knew when I was 5, if you know when you're a kid that that's what you want to do and you don't really get to do it until college, like that's a long time to be.
And plus you might other things that you want to do. Your path,
Yeah,
your journey has many layers and facets, and I believe
absolutely.
that the business of entertainment is really us teaching these kids young is going to
Yes.
them exponentially have a much more lucrative and
Yes.
more healthy
Oh, I
experience.
so agree. They're going to go into it knowing what they're getting into
Yeah.
instead of just having pipe dreams and holding on to them for so long and wishing and hoping. And you know it's hard, it's a hard life, but it's fun. And when you are prepared, when you know how to do it, which is exactly what the purpose is of Act Real Studio Lounge, is to make sure that people are prepared, young people are prepared. And that's what I'm just excited to be a part of that.
Put a pin in it and drop the mic.
And
That's it. And now I think this episode is done because I'm not adding to that. That was
yeah.
flawless. Couldn't have said it better myself. I won't. I'm done. You guys,
Awesome.
come check us out. Acro Studio, come check us out. Acro Studio Lounge. We're going to be live anywhere you can find us on your podcast. Subscribe, keep in touch. So many great things coming your way. Really building a good community of fun, authentic people who just want to make a difference and use their art to do that in the world and be who they are. You know, we're all individuals who just want to leave our own brand, and we are working on building a brand of influence at Acro Studio Lounge. Acro Studio, Acro Studio Lounge. Well, the lounge is a podcast. I, I haven't figured it out. I'm gonna get somebody to write it. It
All
won't be.
right.
I mean, I could write it. I'm a great writer too, but when you do it for yourself, that's what I love about this. It's like I cannot do it for myself. I can do it for everyone else. Everyone needs a mentor. Everyone needs
I
somebody
so agree.
to feed into them, you know, and tell them the things that you do that are great. Because, like
Mhm.
you said before, and I've told you, and we've discussed, you know, as experts in our field, as long-term professionals with 20 plus years, we know, but it's so organic to us is we don't know that other people don't understand or know that. So
Mhm.
when someone says, wow, that's really valuable, I had no idea. You know, I started one way, but then this happened and I'm not really sure what to do. I just kind of wanted to bounce that by you. Like that's where we come in. That's where our private studio things, that's where everything happens. So
Mhm.
join us. It's going to be fun. Thank you, Katie.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you.